morning, my renegades. My name is Sarah Jane, and welcome back to Rogue Radio. And today we're doing a Rogue News segment. So let's jump in the trenches, shall we? And yes, I am back. We're going to talk about that in a minute. As always, if you have any comments, questions, or concerns, you know where to contact me. Down in the descriptions below for Instagram, YouTube, all of that lovely good stuff. Okay, see you there. So there isn't much of a real reason why I decided to take a break. It's just sometimes when you do something for so long, you just want to take a break. That's all. But yeah, I'm back. And yes, I am still working on the MK Ultra, like the last part of it, because there's just so much to like write down. And so yeah. But in the meantime, we're gonna do Rogue News. So let's get into that. Alright, let's get on with the politics. Let's see what's on OAN News for me to read. Also, shout out to China, who is listening now, and Israel. Israel was one of my biggest goals to reach, and I'm starting to reach Tel Aviv, and I just want to say to everybody, actually, who's listening, including Israel, thank you so much for listening and supporting me. It's amazing that so many people from so many different countries are starting to listen, and I didn't think I was that special of a person to to be listened to, but I'm very humbled, and I'm very honored that people are listening to me from so many different places all over the world, and I'm so glad and so happy and so proud to include China and Israel on the list of nations that are renegades now. Thank you so much. Speaking of Israel, we have a article about Israel today in the politics. So, U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken visits the memorial to the murdered Jews of Europe, also called the Holocaust Memorial, on June 24th, 2021, in Berlin, Germany. Okay. Anthony Blinken meets with Israeli Foreign Minister for reset from Trump Netanyahu era. Okay. U.S. Secretary of State Anthony Blinken met with Israeli Foreign Minister Yair Lapid in Rome on Sunday. Reports said that the meeting took place to focus on moving past the Benjamin Netanyahu era. This comes as the Biden administration is reportedly preparing to bring back the Iran nuclear deal. Although the new Israeli government has said it's still opposed to the Iran deal, they say they want to be softer in opposition. Anthony Blinken tweets, "It's been a pleasure to meet with Israeli Foreign Minister Yair Lapid today in Rome. We discussed the strong partnership between Israel and the United States, our commitment to Israel's security, and our support for regional normalization efforts." Netanyahu formally riled the Obama administration by coming and speaking to a joint session of Congress against the deal in 2015. However, with Netanyahu out as prime minister after numerous deadlocked elections, the Biden administration said it's hoping to start anew with Israel. "I look forward to working with you and widen the circle of peace in our region. That is the best way to bring stability and prosperity to the Middle East," said Lapid. "We will discuss a range of issues such as concerns or which concerns Israel, including strengthening our ability to defend ourselves, working to minimize the conflict between U.S. or between us and the Palestinians while making life better for Israelis and Palestinians alike. So, hang on. Between us. There is a conflict between the Palestinians and the Israelis, and I know I've said this before. Unfortunately, I mean, I'm a biblical person. I am a biblical person. I'm a Christian. I believe that there may be peace in Israel and Palestine, but there's always going to be some sort of tension there, just because of what, the Bible says about this, and I just don't know. When it comes to Israel, I'm very protective of what I say, especially if I don't know completely what is going on, because I don't think that this is a good idea, but yeah. Both sides agreed to deepen U.S.-Israeli dialogue amid ongoing threats to destroy the Jewish state by Iranian-hacked terror groups Hamas and Hezbollah. Okay, I found out some information on the Iran nuclear deal, so we're gonna read it together and understand it together. So, anybody who is from Israel who knows more than I do, you are free to contact me on my Instagram, email, all of that stuff, to educate me. So, the Iran nuclear deal, what's wrong with it, and what can it be, or what we can do now. So, key failings of the Iran nuclear deal. The JCPOA does not confirm the peaceful nature of Iran's nuclear program and provides a clear pathway to nuclear weapons. So, apparently, from what I've just read, it's basically just a setup for Israel to be attacked. Okay? I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less from the frickin' Biden administration, or the Obama administration for that matter. But yeah. It was in 2015, right? Yes. Obama administration. The sunset provisions clause. The sunset provisions in the JCPOA mean restrictions on Iran's uranium enrichment and plutonium reprocessing lift after 10 to 15 years. Iran is free to expand its nuclear program at that time to an industrial scale and introduce advanced centrifuges that can potentially reduce its breakout time. The time needed to produce enough weapons-grade uranium for a nuclear weapon to a matter of weeks, if not days, almost down to zero, according to President Obama. The JCPOA, therefore, merely rents Iranian arms control for a limited and defined period, after which Iran will be permitted to have an industrial-scale nuclear program with no limitations on number of type of centrifuges or on its stockpiles of fissile material, buttressed by the economic benefits obtained through sanctions easing. So, from what I can tell, I don't know, I feel like that it only lasts for a certain amount of time, and then during this time, Iran is free to make as many weapons as they want of mass destruction on an industrial scale. So, it just sounds like they're just making a plan to destroy Israel. I mean, it's no news to anybody who's been following like the conflict with Israel and Palestine and all of that. And I understand, yes, I mean, the Middle East really wants Israel to be broken apart, and I hate that. I hate that. Inspections, verification, and potential clandestine parallel program. The JCPOA does not require Iran to submit anytime, anywhere Industrial Atomic Energy Agency inspections of facilities and military sites where nuclear activities are suspended to have occurred. Iran, a serial cheater in its nuclear and other international obligations, can delay inspections of such facilities for up to 24 days, giving it significant time to hide evidence of covert nuclear activities. So yeah, they also have that time to hide what's going on without any inspections. That's not good at all. Key questions remain concerning Iran's undeclared nuclear activities. The JCPOA prematurely and irresponsibly closed an IAEA probe into Iran's documented nuclear weaponization efforts, or the so-called possible military dimensions, PMDs, of its nuclear program. However, the IAEA concluded that Iran was actively designing a nuclear weapon through at least 2009. Iran's lack of cooperation with the IAEA probe makes it impossible to verify if Tehran has halted all such efforts. Consequently, the international community has an incomplete picture of Iran's nuclear program, making it impossible to establish a baseline to guide future inspections and verification. So everything over there is so secret at the moment that we don't know the scale of like how much they have made or what they have done. And it sounds like the Biden and the Obama administration has decided to keep it that way. I mean, they're proving this, and now they're trying to get Yair. I'm sorry if the new prime minister. I'm sorry if I mispronounced his name. Forgive me for that. But they're trying to get him as well to be a part of this in hurting Israel, but hopefully I'm misinterpreting everything. I really hope I do, because I'm not an expert on this stuff. I hate politics. I hate the technical things in politics and what makes it tick, but it is a very important thing for me to talk about. So yeah, I want to be able to inform my listeners as best as I can. Let's continue reading. Iran accepts temporary nuclear restrictions in exchange for front-loaded permanent benefits. So under the JCPOA, United Nations restrictions and Iran's ballistic missile program expire 8 years after the adoption day, October 2023. The UN restrictions on the transfer of conventional weapons to or from Iran terminate after 5 years, October 2020. In exchange for temporary restrictions on its nuclear program, Iran is receiving permanent benefits up front. UN sanctions and some EU sanctions have been lifted, enabling Iran to access previously frozen assets. Remaining EU sanctions will be lifted in less than 8 years. Until the U.S. withdrawal in May 2018, the U.S. has ceased applying nuclear-related sanctions against foreign companies for doing business in Iran. Since the JCPOA was implemented and prior to the U.S. withdrawal in 2018 of May, Iran had signed over $100 billion in contracts with foreign companies. Okay. The deal emboldens and enriches an extremist anti-American terrorist state, thereby furthering Iran's expansions and destabilizing activities. The regional instability. The windfall of sanctions relief freed up tens of billions of dollars to finance Tehran's many destabilizing activities. Iran increased its military budget 145% over the course of President Rouhani's first term. Iran continues to be the world-leading state sponsor of terrorism, backing terrorist organizations Hezbollah and Hamas, both of which have been responsible for the deaths of American citizens. So, one thing I want to make clear right now is that Rogue Radio, I know that Iran also listens, and I want to let my Iranian listeners know that just like there are good people, there are also bad people. And I will not clump all Iranians together as terrorists, because they are not. I don't believe in that. I know that there are good people in Iran. I know that there are good Muslims in Iran and good people who practice Islam in Iran. I understand that. Just like there are terrorists in America, there are terrorists everywhere. And yes, there are in Iran, unfortunately, and I do understand that Iran has probably been looked upon as like a terrorist country. And I don't want to, look at Iran like that. Because there are people in Iran, there are Christians in Iran, there are Muslims in Iran that want peace. And just know that, whoever's listening, just know that, Rogue Radio does not, racially profile you all as terrorists. That's not what we're here for. That's not what Rogue Radio does. We understand that there are good and bad people in every country. And that is what we stand by. So, as far as me referencing Iran, this is all about the Iranian government. That's what we're referring to. So just know that. We're grateful that, Iran is listening. It's amazing that you guys are listening. And we're grateful for that. Thank you very much. But just know that we're not profiling everybody in Iran as a terrorist, because that's not true. Iran has escalated its support to Syria's Assad dictatorship, which has killed hundreds of thousands during the Syrian civil war, enabling Assad to reverse key setbacks and turn the tide of war in his favor. Iran sponsors the violent extremist groups destabilizing Iraq, Lebanon, Yemen, and Bahrain. Iran continues to take Americans and other Westerners hostage, detaining at least 5 Americans and 6 other Westerners since the nuclear deal was reached. The Iranian regime brutally represses its own people and violates the human rights of ethnic, national, and religious minorities with impunity. Iran has tested launch has launched, tested 16 ballistic missiles since the JCPOA was reached. UN Security Council Resolution 2231, which implemented the deal, aided Iran's ballistic missile program, replacing previous resolution language that said Iran shall not engage in ballistic missile activities with weaker language that merely calls upon Iran not to test any ballistic missiles designed to be nuclear capable. So, as far as that goes, the Iranian government has basically, they've kind of taken the deal and was like, you know what, forget you, we're gonna, do what we want. And that's basically what's been going on. And, it's just not, I don't think that reading this even further down, it just sounds like this is all just a thing to kind of patch up. You know how, what paper mache is? In order to, make something look nice, you have to keep applying layer after layer after layer of paper mache. But it's still, I don't know, I feel like they're just trying to, paste over a problem that is still going on. This deal with that America is proposing right now with Israel. I just feel like they're just putting a band-aid over it, hoping it'll heal at one point. But the emotional scar is still there. That's not going to make anything better. They're still going to remember what's happened. Excuse me. The deal fails to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons in long term. Hang on. My husband is calling me. I will be right back. Anyway, my husband's home. Say hi.
Hello.
He may or may not interject at some point. That's okay.
I'm just over here eating grapes.
Yeah, he's gonna eat grapes during the whole thing. So, I think where we left off is the arms race. So, the deal fails to prevent Iran from developing nuclear weapons in the long term. In the long term. And weakens restrictions on Iran's ballistic missile program and conventional arms transfers. Consequentially, Iran's regional adversaries like Saudi Arabia may race to counter Iran by getting their own nuclear weapons and ballistic missiles to enhance their conventional arms capabilities. For Saudi intelligence minister Turki al-Faisal warned in 2015, "I've always said whatever comes out of these talks, we will want the same. So if Iran has the ability to enrich uranium to whatever level, it's not just Saudi Arabia that's going to ask for that. The whole world will be an open door to go that route without any inhibition. Thus, the chance of destabilizing regional competition and conflict has increased." So yes, that's the whole breakdown of the Iranian nuclear program and the deal that they're trying to make with Israel. So okay, this next one is about Texas, so let's go. Texas AG Paxton, 500 election fraud cases pending. So, Texas Attorney General Ken Paxton has announced that more than 500 election fraud cases are currently waiting to be heard in court. Over the weekend, Paxton relayed on Twitter that his team will prosecute every instance of voter fraud. This comes after the shared information about a woman being arrested for multiple counts of election fraud in 2018. In a 2018 local election, Monica Mendez was convicted on 7 counts of illegal voting, 8 counts of unlawfully assisting a voter, 8 counts of unlawful possession of ballots, and 8 counts of election fraud. Dang, this lady's busy. Okay. In response to the case, Texas Governor Greg Abbott, Republican, said his team plans to pursue laws for more secure elections. And he tweets, Attorney General Ken Paxton tweets, thanks Greg Abbott from Texas. We will prosecute voter fraud every time we find it. Currently, our office has over 500 cases waiting to be heard in court. Voter fraud is real. Texans deserve to know their vote is legally and securely counted. I fully expect to have a session where we will pass an election integrity bill as well as bail reform, said Abbott. Those are both needed and they both must pass, he said. Or he has since announced the state legislature will have a special session addressing voter fraud laws. So yeah, that was that article. It was short, actually. I didn't expect that. So this next one is about Florida, and for those of you who don't know, a complex building collapsed, or part of it did, and there's still 156 people underneath the rubble still unaccounted for. As far as I know, 4 people have died, and this is a very, very tragic thing. So we're gonna read the article right now about it. Senator Rubio reacts to continuing efforts in Surfside, Florida building collapse. Florida Senator Marco Rubio discussed the condo collapse and continuing search and rescue efforts in Surfside. In an interview on Sunday, Rubio was questioned on a theory the collapse could have been caused by environmental factors such as salty sea air. The Republican senator responded by saying nothing should be ruled out this early in the investigation. He said it is important to understand what happened to the Champlain condo buildings in order to evaluate other structures that may also be at risk. The National Institute of Standards and Technology, a federal agency which specializes in catastrophic structure failures, is deploying to Surfside to collect information on the cause of the tower collapse. Rubio also stressed he was making sure that the people in the community had every resource available, while experts attempted to understand what happened, and the Federal Emergency Management Agency, FEMA. That's no surprise. One of these days, I'll do a conspiracy thing about FEMA, because there's a lot to go into with that one. But has been in Surfside to provide resources to individuals and businesses who were impacted by the collapse, while crews from Mexico and Israel have joined to search and rescue teams for individuals still unaccounted for. Aw, so that's really cool. Israel's helping out. That's amazing. It makes me want to cry. I don't know why. It's just amazing how, like, people come together in tragedy. But, obviously something very unusual happened here. I do No, and I do understand why people living in the area, particularly the building just north of it, that's basically a twin, same architectural design, same company that built it, would be concerned about it, he expressed. I know that they have now been made FEMA eligible, meaning if they would like to relocate, FEMA would help them with those arrangements. Rubio went on to highlight the dangerous work being done by emergency crews by saying they are very much still intent on saving lives. It's time for that ad, bro.
After you.
You want to know how I make some unique podcasts? If you haven't heard about Anchor, it's the easiest way to make a podcast. For one, it's free. There are creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone or computer, and they're easy to use. Anchor will distribute your podcast for free so that it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and many more. And you can make money from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It is everything you need to make a podcast in one place. Download your free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. It's really fun. Come and join the Renegade family, all right? Okay, let's try this again.
No.
Yes, we're gonna try it again. Hopefully it works. What? I gotta do this real quick, baby.
Okay.
I got like what? Six more things to do, and then I'm done. Okay. Then you have me for the rest of the night.
The day.
The day and the night. I don't think anybody wants to know that part of our lives, babe.
Sorry.
You're nuts. Okay. The woman shamed for saying she'll dump fiancé if he doesn't shave beard for wedding. Bride-to-be took to Reddit to ask users whether she was being out of order for telling her partner that she would dump him. That's mean. Why would you do that? A woman has been labeled a Bridezilla online for the cruel ultimatum she gave her fiancé. Sharing her story anonymously, she explained that her partner has been growing his beard out since March. But with their big day approaching, she told him that he should shave, and she feels like the pictures will not be as classy and nice if he leaves it as is. Posting on Reddit, the Am I the A-hole forum, she said, "I've been with my fiancé for over 3 years, and we have been engaged for one of those years. Our wedding is set for September 6th. My fiancé has been growing a beard ever since like March or so." This is funny. I haven't thought of anything. I haven't thought anything of it since I've seen him. Babe, quit.
Sorry.
Damn. I haven't thought anything of it since I've seen him with a beard plenty of times before. but when she jokingly asks him whether he'd get rid of it, he refused, and things turn sour. Oh, I'm sorry, you can't tell the Jezebel no, right? The bride added, he said, I was going to leave my beard for the wedding. I gave him a pretty gross look and said, no, you are not. That is not acceptable. I will not have that. He got mad, and I was telling him what to do, and said that I can't tell him what to do with his grooming preferences. But she said because it's her wedding, I'm sorry, I thought you two were both getting married. She has a right to tell him how he should look for their wedding. He didn't budge. He ended up getting really mad at that comment and left shortly after. Since then, the woman says they've barely spoken. Yeah, I understand why. For one, I don't understand why it's such a big deal for him to have a beard. Like, I can understand if, he wants to trim it and make it look a little nicer for the, big day. But the problem is that she thinks it's just her wedding. And, that's not okay. I mean, he's getting married to you, too. So, maybe you guys should compromise? I mean, after sharing her story online, the majority of Reddit users said, I hate this website. It keeps moving. After sharing the story online, the majority of Reddit users said that she was in the wrong and took her husband to be side. One person said, if you really don't want him to have a beard for your wedding, you should have talked about it in a respectful way, not demanding, and then doubling down on your rudeness by threatening to cancel the wedding. Outrageous. If this is your conflict resolution, if this is what it looks like in general, then he should run away from you as fast as he can. This marriage will not last. How can you think it's okay to demand that he shave his beard because it's your day? You can't have a wedding without a groom, so it's his day too. You've bought into the whole Bridezilla culture, my dear. You need to apologize to him and ask him if both of you can talk about this calmly and rationally. And just because I want it is not a good enough reason. Good luck to you both. You're gonna need it if this marriage is gonna work. Couples therapy should be strongly considered. Oh, wow. Another wrote, he is the guy you said yes to, beard and all. How would you feel if he said he won't marry you? Oh my god, I can't read. What the heck is wrong with me? I don't know. I don't know either. What are words? He is the guy that you said yes to, beard and all. How would you feel if he said he won't marry you unless you lose 20 pounds before the wedding? I like that one. Whilst the third commented, short answer, yes, you are the talk about over entitled. Wow. Yeah, I don't like this. I don't like this article at all. Is that it? Is that all of it? It is. It's all of it. I hate that website. That website had way too many ads. Anyway, baby, what do you think about that story?
It's a bunch of bullcrap.
It is a bunch of bullcrap. Like, did you have a beard when we got married?
No, actually, I had a goatee.
Oh yeah, you did. You had a goatee.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So I mean, I don't know. Getting mad over shaving your husband's like facial hair.
Some women are more picky on that.
But that's the thing, women shouldn't be. I mean, you love the man, beard and all, why not marry him like that? Like, what does it matter? I don't know, I guess not everybody can be like us, where we don't give a crap what other people think.
Yeah.
Okay, this next one comes from Wisconsin, so let's see. Wisconsin business creates world's largest string cheese. Why? June 25th, a Wisconsin cheese business said it unofficially broke its own Guinness World Record by creating a string cheese that measures more than 3,800 feet long. I want to continue reading. Gerard Knaus, master cheesemaker at, oh lord, what is that word? Wayawanga, Star Diary in Wayawanga, said his father, former master cheesemaker Jim Knaus, presided over the first successful Guinness World Record string cheese attempt in 1995, and the record was updated in 2006 when the business created 2,000-foot-long piece of string cheese. The cheesemaker celebrated June Dairy Month by creating the string cheese that measures 3,832 feet, nearly doubling the 2006 record. The greatest part here now is the community coming together in this. You see all the people that came here. Why are you breathing down my neck? No. You hear that? I think my husband is experiencing withdrawal symptoms from me. Jesus Christ. I can't be professional on here, I guess. Oh my god. They enjoyed every bit of it. When we... Talking about cheese, my husband cut the cheese. Thank you very much, Terrence, for that. When we got done, everybody got some cheese. This is such a funny article. Everybody got some cheese to take home. It was on the Knaus family, and I hope everybody enjoys it. Gerard Knaus told WBay TV. He said documentation from the latest event will be submitted to Guinness to have a record updated with the new cheese length. He said he wants his father's name to remain on the record. Jim Knaus said he was proud to see the business continuing its tradition. I can't do any more, so it's great they do it, Jim Knaus told WLUK TV. Yay! So they got the longest cheese string in Wisconsin. That's amazing. Alright, this next one is somebody finds...
someone to love.
That's funny. Shut up, Queen. Diver finds message in a bottle from 1926 in Michigan River. Okay. June 24th, a boat captain in Michigan discovered a message in a bottle from 1926 at the bottom of a river, and later was able to speak with the daughter of its creator. Jennifer Dowker, owner of the glass bottom boat tour company, Nautical North Family Adventures, said she was scuba diving on the Sheboygan River on June 18th, to clean the windows on the bottom of her boat. Dowker said she often looks at the floor of the river while diving to see if there are any items that might be of interest to her customers. I just collect little bottles that I find in the ground of the river when I am diving pretty often, actually. Oh, Jesus. Babe, stop! Dowker told USA Today. You think you're hilarious, don't you? Dowker spotted a tiny green bottle June 18th dive and soon realized there was a piece of paper inside. The note was dated November 1926 and read, "Will the person who finds this bottle return this paper to George Merrill, Sheboygan, Michigan, and tell where it was found?" Dowker posted photos of her discovery to her company's Facebook page, and the post quickly went viral. I woke up the next morning and I had a lot of messages from tons of different people saying, oh, this could be, or so. What the heck? That was, I think, oh my god, that was so confusing to read. Dowker said, honestly, my first thought was how I was going to find the time to do this because I am a single mom with 3 boys running a business. Dowker said she didn't have to conduct much of a search as she received a phone call from on Father's Day from Michelle Premieux, 74, who said that she had been contacted by someone who saw the Facebook post and did research at Ancestry.com. She emailed the pictures of the letter, and as soon as I saw it, I knew it was my father's handwriting, and it was found in Sheboygan. He was born in Sheboygan and lived there until his 20s, Premieux said. It was also interesting because he threw the letter in the river in November, and his birthday is in November. Premieux said her father, who died in 1995, was known for leaving written messages in unexpected places. That's actually kind of cute. I want to start doing that. Just leaving random messages. Just be like, someone finds a message in a bottle down at the bottom of a river, and it's like someone finds it later on in like the future, and it just says, "You're awesome, keep going." I remember when we were changing the medicine cabinet in our bathroom, and we found a message that my dad had written on the wall, she said. And that is the article. That's actually kind of cute to read. But I'm gonna have to cut this one short because my husband is starting to get a little antsy, and I'm gonna take care of him now. So, see you guys. Bye. Thank you all so much for listening, and I will see you in the trenches next time. See ya. Bye-bye. You got something to say, babe? Oh, okay, he's asleep.